Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is my 2020 highlights video. Just the 10 highlights which I think show how the year was. As we all know, it was a difficult year. I'm making two highlights videos. This one's on the diving, and then I'm making one on Coronet as well, Dubai Coronet, because some of my viewers just want to watch how we operate and refurbish Dubai Coronet, and the others just want to see the diving. So this is the first of two highlight videos. This month I'm going to take you to the Musam Dam in Northern Oman. This is an area I dive with a group of friends regularly. Every month they charter an Arabian dhow and we spend 2 nights and 2 days diving the northeastern coast. The great thing about the Musam Dam is just the sheer variety and amount of marine life. You can see amazing stuff every time you go, from little crabs up to beautiful rays. Whale sharks are very regular, we see them nearly every trip. We get mola sunfish, we get lots of rays, and you know, you never have a bad weekend. The currents could be running, the viz could close in, but you still see lots of stuff. When I was going through the Musam Dam video that I posted last time, I found the footage and photographs from my daughter's PADI Underwater Videography and Underwater Photographer course. The kids and I just love diving in Ani Lao. It truly is never a bad day's diving there. Again, incredible marine life, easy to get to sites. We can shore dive, or what we mostly do is hire our own banker for the day and go out and do 3 or 4 dives. And the sites are just great. Sometimes we get some current, not very often, but it's really good diving. Easy to do. It takes us an hour and a half to get there, so we could even go for the day if we chose to, but we don't. We stay several days. This is a video I've wanted to make for quite a while. It's about the MV Dara, our most historic wreck. It has a tragic history, unfortunately. It involved the loss of 238 lives, and at the time, in 1961, was the biggest human loss of life at sea in peacetime after the Titanic. So you can understand why it's got a lot of history. The Dara was owned by the British India Steam Navigation Company, and she set sail from Mumbai on the 23rd of May 1961. She arrived, and she was destined for Basra. She arrived in Dubai on the 7th of April, calling into Dubai. In those days there was no harbour. You would anchor off slightly offshore and ferry cargo and passengers on smaller vessels into the creek. Weather conditions weren't great. There was very high seas, very high winds. Another vessel struck the Dara, so the captain decided to go out further out to sea. On the 8th of April at approximately 4 o'clock in the morning, there was a massive explosion, and the ship caught fire, and the captain gave the order to evacuate the ship. The cause of the explosion, although there's still no concrete evidence, was believed to have been explosives either being transported on the Dara or set off on purpose by Omani insurgents. But as I say, the British Admiralty Board of Inquiry could not come up with any conclusive proof or conclusion as to why that was. So the passengers were evacuated. It's very bad weather conditions, so a lot of people lost their life as they evacuated from the ship. The Royal Navy was in attendance, several other vessels, a British Army tank landing craft, and they managed to get all the people off the ship, but sadly many perished. The Dara didn't sink that night. Many people believe it did. It was actually again an American destroyer. British Royal Navy warships put out the fires. She was taken in tow by the MV Ocean Salver, a salvage vessel out of Glasgow, and while under tow she sank on the 10th of April 1961. So that's a brief history of the tragic loss of the Dara. While I was on the dive, after about 30 minutes into it, on the bottom at 24 meters, I couldn't believe it. I'm a big fan of Critter Hunter, right? And I think, well, this is a great dive, visibility is good. It's going to be great anyway because, you know, we've not dived for so long. But I thought, it's a shame, Critter Hunter wouldn't like this. There's nothing for him to see. And I kid you not, literally, within the next 3 or 4 seconds, along comes an Arabian Gulf sea snake. I couldn't believe it. It's like Critter Hunter's got me bugged. So Critter Hunter, this one's for you. And there we are at 24 meters in glides an Arabian Gulf sea snake without a care in the world. They're also very inquisitive. As you can see, this guy comes straight towards me and I back up, but I'm just loving it. You see, I had one of these once wrap himself around my leg and I just literally stayed still and off he went. Not a care in the world. He's not bothered by Stevie at all. Just swimming around, minding his own business. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. This is an adult, nice size. They grow up to 110 centimeters long, I'm led to believe, but I could just watch these guys all day long. Goodbye, sea snake. See you next time. This dive's particularly interesting because it's the first dive that I'm doing in response to Critter Hunter's challenge to me to film batfish.
I want to challenge the channel Brian Davies Scuba. Right now he's in Dubai, so I want to challenge him. How about a batfish? I challenge you to go find and film one of those. I bet you have some there. I hope.
Right, it's 5 o'clock in the morning here in Dubai. I've assembled the Batfish Hunter team. Stevie and Diane. Steve, aka Badger. So Han, he's the guest member of the Batfish hunting team today. So, Critter Hunter, this one's for you. There we are, first batfish dive. Lots of fish, lots of types of fish, but no batfish. Well, finally we cracked Critter Hunter's Batfish Challenge. Hi Critter Hunter, well I'm pleased to report we nailed your Batfish Challenge. We went to a wreck called the Victoria Star, and as we came down the line we were greeted by this batfish. It was like he was waiting for us. It was like you'd organised it all for us, and he just came straight up out of the blue. It's like he was saying, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. Here's some footage of me actually filming the batfish, so you know it was me who took the footage. Credit to my friend Steve Jenks who took this part of the footage. Hi, this week we dived the MV Nastaran. It was commissioned in 1945 for the US Navy and was a landing ship medium, LSM. We're off to the Nastaran and we've got the wolf on board today. Come here. Sit. Sit. And there she is. We found her really quick thanks to the help of the fishermen. So down the line we go, and what fantastic viz we had. So a little bit more about the Nastaran. As I said, she was a landing ship medium for the US Navy, entered service in 1945. She was built by Brown Shipbuilding in Houston. She's 62 metres long, 10 metres wide, with a draft of around 2.5 metres, 1,095 tonnes displacement, and she was powered with 2 Fairbanks Morse engines, each with 1,440 brake horsepower, bringing a total power of 2,880 horsepower, and she travelled at 12 knots. So let's talk about the wreck. We've got some easy swim throughs now which were never there before, which indicate the wreck is starting to break up. You can, as I said earlier, get into the engine room. If we were to turn left here on the starboard side, we could go up and get into the engine room, but we chose not to. Nice easy swim through from starboard to port there, or vice versa. On top of the wreck, the visibility was even nicer. You know, it was just amazing. Props have been removed. Some divers did that a while back. I know who they were, but they didn't manage to keep the props because they were caught by Ajman police. Nice, good viz inside, but you have to be really careful in this wreck. This is not for the untrained, inexperienced wreck diver at all. It looks easy, but believe you me, once you get in a confined space and it silts up, you get worried very quickly. This is the first in a series of videos I'm calling East Coast diving. That's east coast of the UAE, off Fujairah and Sharjah. We're going to start today with a site called Snoopy Deep Reef. There we go, we've been down the line, come right on to top of one of the boats. I believe this is Gunter's old dive boat, the first one that he put down. You can see there's nice, beautiful soft corals, lots of life everywhere. This is some old cables, I believe, I put down on a metal trellis. Just really all sorts of what I guess you'd call junk, but it has attracted lots of marine life. Really quite a nice site. Here's some pipes. Sometimes you'll find slipper lobsters inside. Here I found a family of 4 outside. Crabs underneath metal frames. It's quite a small site, but there's so much going on. Always lots of fish on this site, and as we come into the winter months, we'll get the batfish back, I guess barracuda. Always see seahorses on this site. Just left the camera, no flash. Seahorses are easily stressed. And finally on this dive, you know, right at the end, we had a beautiful big ray. So we're off to Three Rocks now, one of the favourite sites for divers in the UAE. It's a nice easy dive, not that far from the shore, but it's always got something to see, something to film. There we go, underwater selfie time, and straight down to the bottom. It's only 6 meters, so we're down there in a jiff, and this is what you see. Fish galore, fish all over the place on Three Rocks. It's now a marine protected area, so that helps. But these Ehrenberg snappers are beautiful. This is a jawfish that we came across. We find crabs nearly all the time. You've just got to look under the ledges, particularly to the backside of Three Rocks. I love these fellows, porcupine puffers, usually timid. Damselfish, they're not timid. These are supposed to be 3 spots. Morays, 3. Sometimes on this dive we saw 3 free swimming morays, which is not so common. Here we've got some greasy grouper, and then we stumbled upon this fellow. I thought initially he was kind of trapped with these fins or claws, but he wasn't. He was just having a good old scratch. And then I set up my little other GoPro on a tripod. Here's a blenny, and this is a pistol shrimp and goby hole, as I call them. And out comes the goby having a look, and out comes the pistol shrimp. And these two just work all day long, keeping the roof on. Triggerfish, porcupine puffer again. We have a lot of scorpion fish on Three Rocks, guaranteed. As I say, shoaling fish, all up, especially when there's a slight current, they just all line up and head into the current. Here's a Moses sole, not so easy to find. Rainbow runners, Picasso triggerfish, they don't like people being around. Pharaoh's cuttlefish, but look at the display they're giving us. Never tire of looking at cuttlefish, never. Sergeant mangers in abundance, pipefish, and they're so easy to film because they don't move around. We're going to dive the Inchcape one today, a little bit north of here. It's a short boat ride. It's, you know, where you can find seahorses. There's always something to see. It's a nice little wreck. So that's where we're going next. So a quick scoot down the line, and here's the wreck approaching it at 25 meters, as you can see. It's a small ship, just a supply vessel. You can get around it really quick, so just take your time and look for some of the smaller life as well as some of the bigger marine life. Thousands of Ehrenberg snapper. Here they are all lining up into the current. Here's my favourite yellow bar angelfish, not a care in the world. It's easy to get inside some areas. I can't really see the point, it's a very small vessel, but I just put my camera inside so you could see. There's the snappers again. They can be annoying. I took this footage just because they weren't bothered, they wouldn't get out of the way. Here we are off the wreck, just to give you an idea. It's not big by any means, but it is a nice dive. And there we are, all over too soon. Up the line we go for a long safety stop and then back onto the boat. In this video we're going to show you a lovely little wreck which we've named Abdullah's Wreck. It's a tugboat. There we are, going down the line. You know, this is a real surprise. You know, we did not expect this. Really good visibility and an intact tug. So we thought, right, let's get round and have a quick scoot round. But the fish life on here was just amazing. I mean, we just couldn't believe it. The fizz was so good. The fish were everywhere. The only thing we would have preferred if it hadn't turned turtle. Big propeller on the back. The prop's a real feature of this dive. You can swim through it. It lies in a nice shallow depth, 18 metres. Really good, and I'm sure as winter progresses we're going to get a lot more marine life on there. So yeah, really, I don't know what else to say really. We just really enjoyed this first dive, and for sure this is going to be a regular dive for us. That's Abdullah's Wreck, first time on YouTube. Can't wait for another one like this. I'm starting a new series on the channel and it's called My GoPro Paralens Journey. So I set myself up with the GoPro Hero 8 in the super sweet housing. Let's talk about my setup. I've been using it, I'm quite happy with it. These torches are excellent value, even at their original price. I like them, and the main reason for that is you get a good long battery life on the rechargeable. I can use it on my camera setup, a GoPro setup, and it does shoot for me, for the type of stuff that I'm shooting, good enough light. For under, I guess, $60 or less, I made my tripod. And I've also ordered a Paralens Vaquita, and the reason for that is it's got automatic white balance and it's supposed to be the best compact camera. And I paid for it a couple of months ago. They say it will be delivered next month in September, so I'm looking forward to that. You know, it's called My GoPro and Paralens Journey, and there's still no Paralens. I don't normally do unboxing videos, but late last night the Vaquita landed at my doorstep. Here's the camera. Look at that. That is a work of art. And let's put the Paralens Vaquita through its paces again. Looking forward to this. I understand the camera a bit better now, so let's see what footage we can get. This is really good because this video concludes with my outstanding critter hunter challenge for the guitarfish. It took me some time to get this challenge done because I'd had raw footage in the ocean virtually from day one, but it wasn't mine. I was doing my SSI instructor crossover in Fujairah, and at the same centre a diving buddy of mine, Simon, was diving the Inchcape 10, saw guitarfish or shovelhead rays, and gave me the footage. So I could have done a cheeky one and says I was there at the time, but I didn't, because a challenge is a challenge and I have to get some footage of my own. And I knew what Critter Hunter wanted me to do. He wanted me to go and do an aquarium dive because he'd been in the Dubai Aquarium and seen them previously. But I then spent a couple of months looking for them in the Gulf, because we do get them It's the start of the season. It might be a bit too early, but no joy. In the end, I succumbed and spent the money to do the Dubai Aquarium specialty diver course, because that allows me to do 2 dives with my own cameras. They were really good. They allowed me to use the 3 cameras, so the 2 Hero 8s and the Vaquita, so I could get some testing of that done. That'll be coming up later, not in this video, but it will complement the testing, side-by-side testing that I've done in the Gulf waters, because it's clear. So that's going to be really good. Those are in post-production at the moment, so I recommend you do look at those. Anyway, without any further ado and listening to my boring voice, let's get in. So here we go. The diving centre, or Shark Experience, is located near the main entrance, just off the left. You go through the tunnel. So I had a look at some of the marine life. Yeah, really amazing. So yeah, I just stood around and just looked at things. Look here, you know, I think beautiful rays. Look at these rays. So yeah, so then off I went to the penguin, through the penguin encounter, which is Chile. That's where the dive centre is located. Here's a view of the shark tank that I'll be diving in. So here we go into the dive centre. All top quality Aqualung equipment, all in good condition, all sanitised. This is the diving platform and shark tank. You go down this ladder, put your gear on, and then you go into the water down a ladder. And look at this, we're in the water now. Up comes this zebra shark. They're not afraid of divers at all. And here it is, Critter Hunter challenge completed. Shovelhead rays, members of the guitarfish family. I'm calling them Justin and Judia. They're a beautiful couple. Look at that, just sliding off the tunnel. This is a sand tiger shark, or a ragged tooth shark, they call them in South Africa, I believe. These guys just cruise around. They're very safe. You haven't got to be worried about them. Here's a sawfish. First time I've ever seen one. Here's the classic shark jaws shot, of course. All this footage was taken with the Vaquita. It came out very blue, so we did have to colour correct post-production. Here's my instructor, great guy, Mr. Cool. Don't worry about us standing on the reef there because it's artificial. Lots of game fish around, trevallies and stuff. In fact, in many ways I prefer those to the sharks. But just look at the amount of pelagics in there. So there was a little shark feeding on the last dive. I guess a little bit of fun. The trevallies were more interested than the sharks. The zebra sharks would come in, but the rest weren't bothered. I guess they're all well fed. And there he is, Justin. Done, Justin. See you next time. The reason I took so long to do this challenge, because you know I usually knock them out pretty fast, being the competitive beast that I am. Well, one was I was trying to scratch my head, and we normally see them in the Gulf this time of year, but no, we've had hardly any rays. And then I kind of figured out why. Critter Hunter, he did give me a clue, gave me the challenge, Dubai Aquarium. So then I had to wait till the special offer came so I could go in the aquarium and shoot these guys. But before I'd done that, I'd actually got some footage of guitarfish on the Inchcape 10 on the east coast. I wasn't on that dive. I was there in Fujairah at the same dive centre doing an instructor crossover course. So thanks to my friend and fellow diver Simon Woolley for letting me use this footage. So there you go, Critter Hunter. You know, you've got your challenge completed and you've got bonus footage of guitarfish in the wild. So I'm going to be thinking up in the next few days a new challenge for you. Well, what a year. You know, when you look back, you know, the channel achieved quite a lot. We're still not sure which direction we're going with the channel. You know, I kind of started off just wanting to film all the dive sites of the Dubai coast, and then later on the east coast, and when we get the Muslim Dam diving back, the Muslim Dam. But then because I've got a lot of experience in diving, there's some things I wanted to share with you, like how to disinfect dive equipment. Did a review which has been very popular on my Scuda. So I'm still kind of thinking which way the channel will go in 2021. I'll probably just play it by ear. But what I want to get done is a lot of travel, of course, and my kind of goal is to do liverboard and then upload a clip every day of the sites that we dive. That's what I'm going to try and do in 2021. But anyway, 2020 is over. I'm glad it's over. I've enjoyed making these videos for everyone, so let's see what next year holds. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for supporting the channel. I only started the channel because of the pandemic. That's a good thing. I only started getting heavily back into Dubai diving because of the pandemic, because we couldn't go to Muslim Dam. So while it's been a pretty crappy year for me personally, for the channel, and for me getting back into Dubai diving in particular, and the East Coast, it's been fantastic. So I wish you all a very happy new year.